So it's been a few weeks since I've been home. I've been finishing up some projects lately, like the Axonar project. I've been working at some jazz festivals, doing some documentary style content, but it is great to finally be home back here in Fort Lauderdale. One of the items, though, that Zhiyun actually sent out to me to specifically use on the Axonar project is this crazy small and portable light called the Molus G200. And it's crazy because not only is it small and portable, but it's a 200-watt light that has a 300-watt output, has a Bowens mount, and it could fit in my backpack with all my other cameras. So I want to show you how I used it on set today and talk to you a little bit about the light itself.
This is the Molus 200 by Zhiyun, and it is a super small, portable, and high-powered cob light that I actually was interested in picking up just because of the size and the high output. Now, super small cob lights aren't new. We've seen some super small lights from Zhiyun, we've seen some super small lights from Aperture, but none of them have been able to output 200 or even the 300 watts that the Molus 200 is capable of. Today's video will be a real-world review using the Molus 200 on set as a key light, a fill light, a hair light. It was really all over the place, and it really depended on what the situation was. The Molus 200 is a bicolor light, so we were able to use it tungsten when we needed to, bicolor when we needed to. The versatility of this light, especially because of its size, was incredible on set. The other thing we noticed is getting it into certain areas was really cool because the actual head of the light, like you see right here, is incredibly small. There is a power cable that goes from the head of the light to the actual control unit, and we were using the control unit a lot more than the app just because only I had the app, so when my gaffer Jim or my key grip Dakota needed to change some of the features really quickly on the light, it was just easier to do it on the light itself. Now, when I said we use this as a key light, a fill light, or a rim light, it really just depended on where we needed it because as small as this light is, first, you would think you wouldn't be able to use big modifiers with it. First, that's totally false. We were able to put huge softboxes with this light, and part of the reason was because right here, where you're actually able to change the angle of the light, as you can hear, there are actually notches in here, and the notches will actually let you use more weight on this light. The notches do create a small issue, which is why we didn't use it 100% of the time as our key light. And that's because we couldn't always get the exact angle we needed to because of the notches. As far as range of motion, you're able to get about between 85 and 90% range of motion, which is pretty good, but there's always going to be on set that one time where you kind of hit an area where it's in between one of the notches and you just can't quite get the angle you needed to. So that's where we were using some of our Aperture and Amaran lights to be able to get in those specific areas. As there are no notches on those lights, you can just get it in the position you need to. I understand why they did it on this light because that's how you can handle things like heavy softboxes and keep this light super small, have this mounting right here be extremely small as well. Now, one of the ideas I had was to just carry 3 of these as a complete 3-piece lighting kit. And I've changed my mind a little bit about that, but not completely. And that's really only due to the fact that you don't get 100% range of motion out of these lights. So what I think they're best for is carrying 1 of them or 2 of them as part of a 3-piece lighting kit, and then having a light that's a little bit more versatile that has 100% range of motion so you can completely customize the tilt you need it to be at. In this shoot, we brought an Amaran 200SX, 200D, I believe another 200X, but not the S version. We had this light, we had a few other panel lights. This light personally saved me a lot of room of not having to bring another bicolor light like the SX because as small as it is, it still takes up a lot more room than this light in its control box. So I think that's kind of where Zhiyun has this market cornered right now. As if you've been following the channel, in around summer of last year, I basically moved completely to Amaran lights to be able to use Aperture's Situs Control Link so I can just control everything from an app and not have to use a bunch of different apps. So for the most part, I'm kind of a proponent of just sticking with one brand just so it makes ease of use of switching between the lights on your phone, especially if they're in hard to reach places, a lot easier. There's really no light that competes with the size and output of the Molus G200. So right now I'm willing to put up with having to use a separate app just because of the size and weight output. If some other company comes out with one that competes with this, that may change, but right here in February 2024, there really is no competition to this. So I've been really happy overall with the light. Now, one thing I do want to mention is the 300 watt output mode. Now, when you are starting to use this light and you just boot it up for the first time, you are going to get the 200 watt output. In order to actually use the 300 output mode, you have to press down on both the left and the right control dial on the box. And then after a few seconds, it's actually going to show max on the little LCD screen. Once it shows max, you were able to get this thing into the 300 watt mode. And it took me a little bit to figure out how to do it because I couldn't figure out in the app or whatever, because you have to use it on the control dial. So that was one little thing that was a little confusing that took me a little bit to figure out, but that's, again, another plus of this light, the fact that you can push it to 300 watts. So overall, I have really enjoyed using this light because of its portability, its light output. I would say the light output's so high, you do want to make sure that you do not touch this thing, especially if you're using the max mode when it's been on for a while. You want to make sure if it's been on for a while, you turn the light off, you let it cool down, and then it will be safe to touch. Because as you can see, there's a cooling fan back here. There's a cooling fan in the control unit itself as well. So just be careful. You don't want to burn yourself, but that's what comes with it being such a small and compact setup. If you have any questions about this light, anything you want to see that I didn't go over today, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more from the last Axonar shoot, stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more content coming out. I'm finally happy to say that we have wrapped Axonar, at least principal photography for Axonar. It's been a long journey and there's going to be a lot coming. I can't wait to show this film to you guys because it's been a long time making it. So until next time, my name's Jeff Fagien. Thank you for joining me and I will catch you in the next video.